I personally believe that these challenges start from childhood. It's the choices that parents have from when, we have babies. It's the clothing, it's the colours, it's the hairstyles, it's the toys. Toys play a massive part of, the marketing and the branding of toys have a huge impact on what kids believe they should be playing with or what they shouldn't be playing with, the gifts that they receive at birthdays and Christmases and all of this kind of thing. So, I think it starts from childhood. And I think, societally, I think it is starting to change, but it is slow to change. We are much more aware as this generation of parents of what we need to change in the world, and how we need to have better conversations with our children to enable them to, keep them curious and keep them exploring different options. And I think from my perspective, we can't change the world as a single individual, but what you can do is change the way that you parent, or have a very specific focus around the way that you parent. And I think that's the biggest impact that children can have if they've got parents who are open-minded and accepting and are constantly talking to their children about the different kinds of choices and what's available to them. And, just because things were done in a certain way in the past doesn't mean that has to be the way that they continue in the future. And I'm your parent, and I've got your back, and I'm going to be there to support you regardless of what your choices are. If it is, you wanting to play a sport that, may not be your gender norm, or if it is about, do that robotics class, that's wonderful. I think there's an element here that we also need to teach our kids around resilience, because there's going to be a lot of things that kids cannot control. Those loud and disruptive boys in the class are an example of that. We can't control those kind of things. Kids are kids. But what we can do is help teach our kids to become more resilient, particularly for the things that are outside of their control, and keep encouraging them to explore those options and continue to explore, right? Just because the kid says no today doesn't mean that tomorrow it's going to be a no. So making sure that kids are really aware from a parental perspective that they've got the permission to explore. They're going to be accepted regardless of what they do. They're going to be loved unconditionally and supported unconditionally. I think that's the most important thing that we can do as a society to ensure that our kids know that there are things that they may be told by society is not right, or, you should be doing this instead of this. But I think as parents, you got to give them the permission to break that cycle. And they'll only do that if they know that you're going to support them either way. So whilst, yes, absolutely, society plays a massive part of it, I think the more that we do as parents, and the more kids that feel that way and then do start to break into those different cycles and change the norm, the quicker that society will move in the same direction.